250 years since those shots in the dark. 13 colonies stood and they lit up a spark. From Lexington Green to the boys on the beaches, we fought for our freedom and we never retreated. We tamed the wild frontier with blood, sweat, and calluses. Built cities from nothing, with nothing but courage. 250 years of stars and of stripes, of farmers and soldiers and working man's pride. We lifted the world up from darkness and fear. America the beautiful, America the free. We've been knocked down before, but we always got back, with God on our side and the red, white, and blue on our backs. 250 years, let the whole world see. This is still the land of the brave and the home of the free. We ended the evil that chained human souls, gave the world a light that lit up the globe. We beat back the tyrants, we buried the Nazis, put men on the moon, just because we said, watch me. We invented the future, the car and the plane, fed the hungry nations, and we called them by name. 250 years of stars and of stripes, of factories humming and Saturday nights. We carried the cross and we carried the torch. Through the fire and the flood we kept marching on. From Gettysburg fields to the fields of Normandy, every drop of that blood was the price of being free. 250 years, let the whole world see. This is still the land of the brave and the home of the free. We built the greatest middle class this world's ever known. Gave every man a chance to make it on his own. We stood up to tyrants from Berlin to Baghdad, brought down the Iron Curtain, and we made evil mad. Now they're trying to tear us apart from within, but we got a fighter in the White House again. We got a president who loves this country true, fights for the forgotten, fights for me and you. He's bringing back the factories, the borders, and the pride, putting God and country back where they belong, inside the greatest nation that the good Lord ever made. Still standing tall in the light of freedom's flame. We've had our stumbles, we've had our shame, but no other country ever rose the same. From sea to shining sea, let the anthems ring. This is still America. Let freedom sing.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name's Ian, and I will be your host tonight, as I am every night on this journey around the world to see what in the hell's going on. And so here we go. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth on the YouTube channel StarShip Adventures. And you can, again, catch us every night here right now at 9 o'clock. And this is... we're broadcasting out of North Fort Myers, Florida. I'm sorry, I just got home a little while ago. I'm hot. I just threw down my lunch, my dinner, and it's a little weird right now. I'm kind of still catching my breath. I don't even have quite everything working. The AC is still out. I'm going to have to buy a new one. The bearings have gone out completely in the main drive. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at some options right now. The thermostat still works, and it still turns the compressor on, and the compressor makes ice cold air. It's just the motor that drives the fan, the bearings have gone out. So I'm looking at some options. I may buy one of these force fans and see if I can force air through it, and I'll just disconnect that motor inside, and I'll just force air through it 24 hours a day, and then the compressor can come on and off whenever it needs to. But yeah, we're getting it. Yeah, guys, things are messed up in my life right now, guys. I mean, I've just about got my water system working good. We've had issues here where they're replacing the power poles in my neighborhood. I got tonight, at 1 minute after the top of the hour, I clicked go live. And it said, stand by, going live, and blue screen of death. I haven't had it in 3 or 4 days. I think it's a little bit of an overheat situation. The core is running a lot hotter than I normally run it right now. I've got a fan blowing on it, and its fans are all blowing, and hopefully it'll be okay. But it's one of those things right now where there's a lot of really messed up stuff here. But I'm going to keep going. We're just going to keep right on chugging away, and hopefully things will be cool. I am going, I don't think I'm going to broadcast live. I haven't completely decided yet. I'm bringing the stuff to do it. But I may go live, I don't know. But if I do, it would be early in the morning on Friday. So I don't think I'm going to go live. I'm just going to capture a bunch of video, and then I'll show it here after the show one night. I'll just let it play. So we'll do that. Maybe on the 4th. I can show that video to you guys while we're watching everything else go on during a lull. Okay, programming note. I plan to be on every night into the conceivable future. I'm not taking a night off. I am producing the drive Friday night, even though it's technically a company holiday. Yeah, I get time and a half. And I'm going to be going in and producing. The drive tray is out, but we're going to have Casey Bartholomew in. He's a good fill-in. And we will be discussing all the, of course, at that point, the day before the day, if you know what I mean. We'll be talking mostly all Independence Day and 250 years of excellence and all that kind of good stuff. I was making a new song for tonight, but we'll have it for tomorrow night. I didn't get it done. But I'm making songs about our history, about the Constitution, and about the Articles of Confederation, and about the writing of the Star-Spangled Banner, and all these very, very important things in our history. And I'm making part of my library, and these are all going to play, of course, once the air conditioner's fixed and I can get all the secondary systems back up. I'll get my radio station back up, and I will be featuring all of these songs. I'm up to about 95 songs now. And I don't know if you know this, but the average rock and roll station has about a 250 song library that's switched out roughly 3 or 4 times a year. So that being said, I'm getting there to the point where there's going to be a lot of music on there, and you can listen for a long time before you start hearing repeats. I'm not sure, Moon Goddess. It's in between the front coil and the back coil, and this thing's so heavy that it takes 3 or 4 grown men to pull it out, and I don't have enough help here to even take it out right now. So at this point, I'm looking at things that I can do temporarily, because like I said, the compressor's still working. If I can buy a fan that I can attach on the front of this thing to force air into the front of it, it has to be a good fan. But all I got to do is and then reach in there, somehow get in there and unplug that fan that's in there, the one with the blown bearings. It should get me by for a while because this is a great air conditioner. It's big. It puts out shitloads of cold air. It's huge. But the bearings have gone out in the main fan, the main drive for the fan. So there we go. Yes, I've already looked at buying those because I'm going to be making keepsake Trump and all pill bottles at some point. And I'm going to fill them with red, white, and blue jelly beans or red, white, and blue something. M&M's would actually look more like pills, I think, than jelly beans. Unless they're horse pills, I guess. Yeah, it's going to need to be more than that. It's going to need to be like one of these little like barrel fans that have like the swoosh at the bottom where the air comes out. It's going to need to be one of those like you would see a mechanic using in his shop or something like that. I can get them for like 40, 50 bucks. And I'm thinking about getting one of those this week, probably this weekend. I'm going to go find something or order something that will go ahead and force air through this thing so I can cool this room down. It's not too bad tonight. A storm had cooled down outside to about 77 degrees. I opened the two little windows in here and put a fan in here, but it didn't seem to help. It was still pretty warm in here. But once I opened the door and started blowing, I blow the cold air in the bottom and let the hot air go out the top. And right now it's it's nice in here. It's not too bad. I'm really not sweating at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna order one of those high-powered fans basically, and then just run it on low. I don't know how noisy this thing's gonna be, but. Oh shit, I never turned my camera on. My God. You guys gotta like smack me. This is my job at work now, by the way. As I told you guys, I moved from the board position. I'm still the executive producer of the show, but I've moved from the board position, which is where I would do all, produce the show. I now have moved into the studio with Trey, and I now do all the video switching and video. I put up videos, I put up pictures, and I also sit in there and talk to Trey as like the sidekick. So that's now my whole job has kind of changed, and I like it. It's the same show and the same people. We've added another guy to our staff. Really great guy that's been working with us for a little while now. We got him, and we're really happy about that. So that's kind of neat going on at work right now. So despite everything else that's going on in my life, also, and I don't want anybody to panic, but Daddy Kitty's pretty sick. He's the one that had the stroke about 5 months ago, and I found him out in the grass, just sitting there, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he looked up at me, and he's got shit running out of both of his eyes. So I brought him in the house and I cleaned him up, and he's been living in my bedroom high on the hog for the last 3 days. The boys love him because he helped raise the boys. When he found out we had kittens in there, he would come in every day and hang out with the boys. So it's not a problem. They all get along great. So he's been living in my room now for 3 days, and he's already looking a little better. He's lost maybe 2 pounds. And I don't know if this is a complication from the stroke or if he's always done this. He's gotten real sick 3 or 4 times. It's a little bit of that kennel cough, they call it. We got lots of cats in this neighborhood, lots of cats here. And sometimes they get full lungs and they just have to live through it. And most of the time they do. I've lost a couple cats to it though. The little one's fine. I saw him when I got here. That little Spock. That's what I'll call him. I'll call him Mr. Spock. All right, so let's see here. Moon Goddess, welcome in. Well, it's been very hot here, and so that's why the first line of treatment that I'm trying with him is plenty of food and water, wet and dry, and I'm giving him as much as he'll eat, and I'm keeping him completely in the AC 24/7. So, he likes the outdoors because he's always lived mostly outdoors. He does come in the house, but he kind of feels cooped up in there. You know, these cats get a little claustrophobic when they don't normally live in a house, and they always feel trapped inside there. And so he's a little apprehensive. This thing's getting real close to this storm chaser. Let's take a look at this right now. But yeah, we could. I could say prayers for Daddy, but I don't think we're. I don't think it's too bad. He is down quite a bit right now, but he's still able to walk and talk and demand love off of me as much as he can. But the point is he is ill and he is old. So I don't know what's going to happen. He's had a stroke. This is also the one that had his leg almost torn off when he was young, and he wandered up here with this horribly broken leg. Yeah, this could just be heat. He has a hard time with the heat, especially now that he's had the stroke. So this could just be heat. His one eye is much bigger than the other eye now, and so he may have had another stroke. I hate to think about it, but once you've had one, you could have another one, you know. And obviously he's not taking stroke medication. Yeah, so I think hopefully that's just the heat. He's living in AC right now. He's high on the hog. He hasn't wanted out of that room. He hasn't even given an indication. He's sleeping right in my spot. When I get up and leave, he moves right into my spot. And he sleeps right next to me. It's hard to believe, even these outdoor cats. I mean, they really grow on you. And then when they get sick, they need you. You know, you're the nurse. And, but yeah, Moon, I think he'll be okay. But I'm just letting everybody know, you know, it is what it is. It's cat life. And I get upset when they die, too. It's very hard for me to put them down. I always hold them as they put them down. I feel it's very important. To be there for them and with them at that moment. I want the last thing that they see to be me. All right, so anyway, let's move on. This storm chaser is getting pretty close. I want to change this. I want to turn it off, and I want to change it over to radial velocity. And let's. I don't see much of a rotation in this thing. He can't find it either. Let me get a second opinion. Okay, so there's some rotation on this one, but it's not a really well-defined couplet. But anyway, he's out there and he's looking for it. You can see he's moving along this road here. I think this is so cool. The arrow shows us which direction he's moving in. He's going down this road right here. And you can see the storm is sitting off to his right here. And you can see it's off to his right looking down that road, just like we're seeing. So we're actually seeing on the radar exactly pretty much what he's seeing out the windshield. That's cool. I think that's so neat when we can track these guys so closely. And, you know, when we bitch about these guys, why can't they get underneath this thing? What's going on? Well, let me tell you something. I want you to look at the road he's on right now. This is representative of the roads in a lot of our country. You know, a lot of us live in metros or near metros or even in populated areas like where I live here in Southwest Florida. And we don't really realize it because we don't see it that much. But there's areas where there's one road every 3 or 4 miles. And it's like this. It's a dirt road or some kind of gravel road. Or maybe a once paved road that's not in good shape. And these roads are out in the middle of nowhere. They've got rises like that right there. I hate those because you can't see over them. But it's dangerous work out there in these very rural areas. And then if you do get rolled or something happens, you get hurt, emergency services is a long way away. And once they find you and get to you, then you've got a long way to get back. And with the severe weather, they're not going to scramble a chopper. So weird stuff I think about as a former fire chief that a lot of people probably don't think about. But, we just lost him, but we'll get him back. One of the things that happens out in these storms is the signal will go out because towers or something losing power. A lot of times it's also just dead spots is probably the number one reason why that happens. But he will come back. What happened? I thought I erased that and got rid of it. There we go. Let's see if we can get him back. There, he's back. All right. Look at this. I mean, these farms out there are not acres. They're square miles. I don't know if you guys realize that. You get into North and South Dakota. You get into some of these really rural Nebraska. Some of these really rural states like this. This one here is in Iowa. Or is it Iowa? I think that's Iowa. Anyway, this one is Woodbury County in Crushing. And basically where he's at, in this state, it is so very rural out there that the nearest cell phone tower is actually over the horizon, meaning that the cell phone tower is 20 miles away, 30 miles away, and it's only 300 feet tall, 400 feet tall, all right? And that tower is the closest tower, and your phone's trying to cover that distance, which is further than your phone's made. Your phone is made to talk to a tower within 10 or 15 miles at the most. These phones put out fractions of 1 watt. And so what happens is when you're out here, you get into these hilly areas, you'll go down in a little bit of a valley like he's getting ready to do right here. And you are below the horizon. There's hills all around you. And on the other side of the hill is the cell phone tower. But it's no longer line of sight. The moment it goes down beyond the horizon, in other words, the earth comes up between you and the other tower, it significantly reduces your range because now you're skipping over the top of the land and it's no longer line of sight, and you can't take much of that and you're completely off the air. And so that's why a lot of times they will lose contact out there like that because they get down below the horizon. Have you ever noticed some bodies of water are so big that you can't see the other side? The oceans are all examples, of course. But let me give you some other examples. Lake Okeechobee in Florida. If you came to Florida today and during the day you went to the bank of Lake Okeechobee in Moorhaven and you looked across over to the other side, up to Okeechobee, up to the town towards Okeechobee from there, all you would see, it looks like an ocean. And you get your telescope out and you zoom in and it looks like an ocean. No matter how far you zoom in, all you see is water that meets the sky, right? How is that? The lake's not that wide. It's only like, 50 miles wide or something. So if I've got a good telescope, I should easily be able to see the other bank, right? No. You want to know why? The curvature of the earth brings the water in the lake up between you and the bank on the other side. So you're actually looking through water when you're trying to see the bank on the other side. The surface of the lake holds the curvature of the earth. Now, I want you to think about that. That's crazy shit right there. But the water in the lake holds the curvature of the earth. It's the same thing with oceans and everything else. It's all held in place like that by the gravitational forces and everything else. And so when you look across the lake, the reason it looks like an ocean is because the water is between you and the other side of the lake. It's that simple. Oh, I appreciate that, Cat. Yeah, I think he's going to pull through, but, it is what it is. He's an old cat, and, yeah, I'll bring him out at some point. I'm a little worried about his one eye being so much bigger than the other one. I think that's just the stroke, though. That's a product of the stroke. All right, so, hey, Dispatch and Jungle, welcome in. Hey, Dad, what's going on? And Kat, again, thank you for coming in tonight. And Jungle, I said that already. And Moon, I've already said hi 3 times. And yeah, hello, everybody. Welcome in. We're watching a storm chaser here out in the Midwest. And he's got a hell of a storm here we're watching. And the couplet is getting more impressive. He's kind of around behind it now. We got a sun setting up there, got some beautiful skies, so we're going to stay on this for a little while. We also have an eruption going on at Mount Etna in Italy, in Sicily, and that's going on right now as we speak. And we're getting these images. It doesn't look like it's moving that much because we are very far away. This camera is very far away. That lava flow down, the volcano's on the left, and the lava flow there is miles long. So, yeah, it's very interesting. But this is a live from Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy. And then in the center, we're watching Yellowstone National Park. There's your countdown timer. I don't know. This looks like it reset, guys, because it was getting dark there. It's dark there now, or it's going to get dark there. That might have reset, but I'll leave it up there until we get something else to fill the hole with. And then on the upper right, we got another one of our storm chasers, Ryan Scholl. He's in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and I'm not sure which storm he's on because I don't have him on radar. All right, so here's where we're at on this one. And he's watching a lowering now. I don't think he's got anything yet, but he's watching a lowering. And you can see there, he's trying to get right. He's right in this thing. It's kind of weird because it shows like it's raining like hell, but it doesn't look like he's getting much of that. But it is a little bit of a couplet there. So we're going to continue to watch this for a little while. I just want to mention, if you missed last night's show and you're into science, you need to go back and check it out. We had Old Man Builds on right from the beginning. And we did 2 hours, and I had two awesome scientists on with me, and we talked about all kinds of science stuff. And then we geeked out about ghosts and spirits and God and everything. It was really, really cool. So if you missed that and you're really into deep-ass science topics, that have the paranormal twist, I think you might find last night's show to be quite entertaining. You're between UFO shows. Well, there you go. We do UFOs here, but it's only one of our many, many topics. All right, and for those that are just joining us that aren't normally here, this is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. This is StarShip Adventures. We broadcast to YouTube via fiber optic every night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we broadcast worldwide on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform. We really love that everybody comes in. My name is Ian. I'm currently a producer of a talk radio show on local radio here in my town. And I produce this show, The Sights and Sounds of Earth. And I do appreciate everybody that comes in each night. And thank you very much for that. Let's see here. I got something here. There we go. And this half hour of our show, sponsored by the new the new Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll, the Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll, by the makers of Trump and All. Get your crazy bitch and put her on your desk today. This is her, and she can go there to remind your liberal friends at work to go back to their desk immediately and take their Trump and All. All right, so this is a really cool thing now being put out, and it's in the new patriotic box, which is really cool. So get your Trump, Trump derangement syndrome bobblehead doll today, and put her on your desk, and drive your liberal friends nuts. And then just in case you might decide that those liberal friends could use a little bit more help, get them some Trump and All. Buy them Trump and All. This non-prescription strength Trump and All is available right now over the counter at grocery stores and drug stores and head shops all over the country. So pick you up some today. Trump and All for Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, that's Trump and All. It's some really good stuff. You could get some of that today. I just noticed that it's in the wrong order. It's got to be up here. What are we doing? Yeah, you can't put it there. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. So there we go, Trump and All for the treatment of Trump derangement syndrome. Stop being that crazy bitch that everybody talks about. All right, and right now we are going to just keep an eye out here on this. He's facing away from the storm. I don't know if he's giving up or is he going to chase another one or what. I think I'd have stayed with this one for a while, but hey, you know. Oh, well, thank you very Heath, thank you very much. You did not need to do that, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Guys, anything I get on commercials or on supers or on memberships, it all goes back into equipment like air conditioners and stuff like that. But I am not asking for a donation drive tonight. I just want to make that clear. But thank you very much. I'm going to put that towards a nice split unit that's going to go in here. Or maybe the fan that I buy to go on the front of this air conditioner. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate it. All right, so here we go. We've got... I don't know, dude. Is he leaving? Where are you going? You're going the wrong way. Does he see something back there? I don't see anything back there on the radar. It could be the arrow. He stopped. You know what? The arrow's facing the wrong way because he stopped. When you stop, the arrow will turn around because it doesn't know which way you're going. Oh, well, yeah, Kat, thank you. This isn't the... Is this the cat from work? I don't know. I don't know. I know like 3 different people named Cat. No, I don't think this is Cat from work. My call screener's name is Cat, and she comes in my show, so I was just wondering. I couldn't remember exactly what her whole screen name was. I'm going to get a drink, guys. I'm going to take 1 minute. Just bear with me here. All right, so there we go. Let me fill this drink up real quick. Mountain lightning. Why have dew when you could have lightning? Mountain dew. You could call it hilly condensation. All right, at the upstate of South Carolina. No, I have not. I have not watched any more on that moon. I think I'm gonna do a night on that. I need to put it together. I need to maybe wait till the weekend when I can spend an hour or two to go through it, rack up a few videos, and I'm gonna talk about it. I also mentioned it to Trey as well, and we'll probably be doing a segment on the radio as well. It's good stuff, and I appreciate you sending it to me. But I want to prep a little bit for it. I want to pull a couple of videos. I want to read all about it myself because I went into it the other night and I went all down one direction and you were kind of going down another, and I think they're both good, and I want to talk about all of it. So, Surfside, South Carolina. Oh, okay. All right. Well, Kat, I appreciate you coming in as always. Thank you very much. And let's see what else. Who else we got here? Yeah, hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe. And every time that bell goes off on this channel, I'm here live with something going on, breaking news or 9 p.m. Eastern, whichever comes first. So if you want to, you could give me a like and a subscribe there. That would be amazing. Like a weird optical illusion going on there. What the hell's all that? Oh, I know what that is. I got the window open. That's the shade thing that goes down in the window. All right, so anyway, I was like, what's that square thing up there? All right, yeah, Mountain Dew. They go out in the morning and they harvest it off the top of the grass. Yeah, that's how they do it. Thanks, Moon. I appreciate it. And you're also a member, and I appreciate that too. All right, so here we go. Yep, there we're watching this lowering. I don't know if he thinks he's got something. He is swinging around behind this thing. It's right near Cushing right now. Cushing, Iowa. All right, he's rolling again. He's going to go north and then east. He's going to have to go north and then east to get back up in this thing. He's on better road. At least he's on a road. And at work, they asked me about 2 weeks ago. They said, "Hey, so have you ever used OBS?" And I just laughed at them hysterically. I said, "I've been producing a show with OBS for 5 years. I don't say I'm an expert on anything. I'm almost an expert on OBS. I'm getting really close. I've got to where I can do anything with it." And so they're putting OBS on our computer, and it's going to be two screens. One's the screen that the TV captures, and the other is going to have OBS Studio on it. So I can pull up browsers and pull up videos and then before the show, I'm going to be starting to go in a little bit earlier. Before the show, they will, Trey sends me all the videos he wants, because normally we just pull the audio off of the videos. But now I'm actually going to put the videos in as a scene under the cut numbers. And it's going to be V-cut 1, V-cut 2, V-cut 3. And when he goes to it, I'm going to have that ready. He's going to tell me what order he's going to do them, and I'll have it sitting there ready on the program screen. And then when he says, "and play the clip," I hit the thing and hit fade on the Stream Deck, and it will fade to that video that I'm playing. And then right as it's about over, I fade back to Trey before the screen goes black or whatever. And so it's going to be really cool, because if you're watching our radio show, you'll now get to watch the clips. And we do 7 or 8 to about 15 a night, depending on what's going on. And now if you're watching on TV, you'll get to actually see the clip and watch the person talk or watch the scene or whatever's going on. So that's kind of cool. I also put up pictures. I put up facts. I'm going to be putting up captions when people are on the phone and different things like that. So it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see here. So what I'm doing at work now, I've kind of been training for here, which is kind of nice. So one of the engineers said, so you're good at setting up screens and stuff? I brought him in and showed him the show from the night before. I said, I do this every night, and I've been doing it for years. So I said, you're gonna see, I know this program. So this is going to work out really, really well. I'm happy about that, because I don't feel like I'm going into something brand new. I'm just basically doing what I do already somewhere else. Moon, if he wants to come on and talk about it and tell us all about it, that's fine with me. I mean, make sure he understands I'm not a huge show. I don't like people to come in and then they're like disappointed because it's not I don't have thousands and thousands of viewers. I'm just being realistic. But I mean, if someone wants to come on for an hour and talk about it, I'm all for it. And they can obviously talk, promote the product. I don't care. Dead fish cheese spread. Yeah, tornadoes at night, the danger level goes way up, both pre, during, and after the hit. It's hard because it takes longer for people to get ready at night, especially if the power's already gone out. A lot of people don't realize a tornado's coming down your road. Your power may feed from that end of the road. And that power may go out 2 full minutes before the tornado gets to your house. So you have to be ready to be able to get to your shelter in in darkness, or you have to have flashlights or phones ready that you can turn the flashlights on. That's one thing. That's before it even hits. You may lose your electricity. And then, of course, when it hits, you need to be in your lowest point, your shelter, your bathtub, whatever your plan is. And by the way, the bathtub plan is not foolproof. I watched one just the other day, a story about a tornado, and this man had threw his wife in the tub and covered her. And he covered her through the entire storm, holding on as tight as he could to him in that tub and everything, and her. His back was pierced by debris, and he died on top of her in the tub. But she lived. Yeah, you can run it by him. I'm like I said, I'm open to it, but just be very honest about my viewership. I don't like any. I just don't. I don't like to mislead. So, well, yes, it is true that some of the energy that it's using is radiational, and that does die down. But you have to remember, everything on Earth lags behind. It's like our seasons lag 6 weeks behind our equinoxes. And the reason that is just because it takes the Earth some time to catch up. Well, the same thing happens on a daily basis. That energy does carry on into the evening for a little while before it dissipates. We've had freak tornadoes at 6 o'clock in the morning come through and tear up a trailer park. So it happens. It doesn't have to be 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It doesn't have to be. You can have a tornado 24 hours a day. But if you have an area that is high risk and then you get into the afternoon, you up the ante because of all the extra energy that's coming down. And especially if you got a bunch of bright sunlight out ahead of the system, and it's very sunny and warm all afternoon, and then the system comes in with the Gulf of America moisture running underneath it, and it gets all squeezed out as it gets to lift there. When it happens just right with these frontal systems, it can get very bad very quick. Because of that radiational heating. And then, yeah, you're right. Once it gets dark, that begins to wind down. But it does take a little while to completely wind down. Yeah, it does. It takes a little time to slow down. Yeah. Tornado sheltering. It all just depends. If it's a Cat 5 and you're not underground, it's a roll of the dice if you're going to make it or not. I hate to sound like an ass. But if I lived in Tornado Alley, if I lived in Oklahoma, Kansas, and I hate to say it, but Louisiana, Mississippi, upper Louisiana and Mississippi upper Mississippi getting pretty bad. I don't know if you know it or not. Every year, Tornado Alley moves to the east a few miles. It used to be a phenomenon that more affected the states to the west of Oklahoma, west of Kansas City. But now it's all east of that. As a matter of fact, some of the worst tornado outbreaks we've had in the last 20 years were east of the Mississippi. So it's not, everybody always hears Kansas or they hear Oklahoma and you think big tornadoes. Well, when you say Alabama now, you got to start thinking tornadoes. When you say Western Tennessee, you got to start thinking you could get some fairly big tornadoes because Tornado Alley moves a little bit to the east each year. It's just a standard cyclical thing that's going on. It has nothing to do with Al Gore, because the warming's causing the cooling. Yeah, tornado sirens at midnight, not that unusual. As a matter of fact, it's the nighttime when those tornado sirens really save lives. But the problem is in the summer, it gets really hot. Everybody seals up their houses and turns on their AC. That's why even if you've got a tornado siren, I still recommend that you've got the alerts on your phone. And if I lived in Tornado Alley, I would have radios. I would have weather radios in my house, 3 or 4 of them. So that no matter where I'm at in that house, you'll hear that audible tone going off, and you'll know. See, down here, we don't need it. We've got it in our phones. It works, and that's good. I get the email alerts. That goes into my phone as an alert as well. So I get double alerts on everything. But that being said, I don't have a weather radio in every room. But that's because down here, my big threat is hurricanes. And I get days of warning. I know it's coming. We're planning for it. Everything's ready. And so I don't necessarily need a warning to let me know that a hurricane's coming, because by the time I get the 36-hour notice, which is the hurricane warning, once we get that notice, I'm already ready, man. I'm already boarded. We know it's coming, and we're pretty much ready. We know we got one more day to finish getting ready. We're pros down here at this shit, But if I lived in a tornado place, and I was building a new house, I would probably go ahead and wire a speaker into the ceiling of every room. And I would have it hooked to a central unit that would be like somewhere in the garage or something, or in the cabinet. And that way, when that tornado alert goes off, it goes off in the whole house. It's so important, because the people that die are the people that are not ready, or the people that are caught out of position, or the people that were never warned. They never received the warning. Yeah, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Arkansas has been very busy with storms for the last 10 years. It seems like that area has gotten real busy too. It's not that we're getting more storms. It's just we're not getting really bad storms anymore way out in the west. And it's because the areas that are green, and the areas that are desert, and the areas that are tropical, it all moves by a few miles every year. You know that the North Pole moves by 50, 75 miles every year sometimes. It moves all around the North Pole. Well, guess what? They had to change a runway number down here at Tampa Airport a while back. They had to change runway number 3 to runway number 4 or something, because, as you know, the numbers on runways are the azimuth. They're like, so in other words, if the runway runs at 3 degrees north, if that's when you go down the runway, if that's 3 degrees to the right of due north, that would be runway 3. If it's runway 18, like say 179, that would be a runway that's almost completely upside down. That's coming up from the south and going to just west of north. So when the North Pole moves and moves and moves, sometimes they actually have to renumber the runways in the airports. It's just a very interesting phenomenon. So you got to realize that the Earth is constantly in a state of flux, and everything's constantly moving around. Where the pole is now might have been a tropical region just 20,000 years ago, 15,000 years ago. The pole may have been here in Fort Myers, Florida, 30,000 years ago. You see what I mean? The whole Earth spins and turns and moves in crazy ways. And the poles are not always where you think they are. All right, and I wanted to mention, I know you guys probably already know this, but there's heat wave. There's a heat wave warning up right now for all over the place. And Heath, it's supposed to be bad up in the mountains up there. You guys could see some low 90s up there in the mountains. That's rough. I mean, that's pretty hot. Luckily, with the trees and everything in the summer, I know with my cabin, even though we've lost a few big trees lately that we had to get taken down, my cabin is still in great shape as far as the canopy that covers it in the summertime. All right, so be careful out there. If you're going out on July 3rd or 4th or 5th to do some grilling or to have a good time, whatever, bring water, hydrate, especially for the kids, because they don't think about that shit on big days. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a firefighter, and I've run kids that almost died from this shit. And I've had firefighters go down on scenes because of dehydration and heat exhaustion and things like that. And so I'm just telling you guys, just be careful out there. Stay in the shade. drink lots of water, and you don't have to be outdoors all the time. I think that's something that if you got a bigger place or whatever, just plan a lot of it indoors. Just put the food indoors and eat inside. I know it sucks. It's just too GD hot out there. I'm sorry. It's a bad year for heat. Has nothing to do with Al Gore or John Kerry or Al Gore. Yeah, well, I'm going to try between now and this weekend. I'm going to try to find this fan. I think what I'm going to do is go to. I think they got it at Home Depot. I might just drive over there in the morning and just look at what they got. It's only like 7 minutes from my house. I'm thinking about just driving over to Home Depot and just looking and seeing what they have in stock, and if they've got one of those little force fans that I'm looking for, I may just buy the damn thing and stick it up here. I don't know. This is terrible, and I'm not going to be able to afford an AC for a while, so. I haven't ruled out moving things around a little bit in my bedroom and setting up in there. I haven't ruled that out yet. I can actually take my computer and 3 screens in there, and I can set up on a little folding table that I have right here, and I can do the shows from in there. And I'm actually considering that, so that way I can do this once I get the money up, because I don't do things. I don't like borrowing money. I just don't like it. I don't owe anybody any money right now, and I really like it that way. Look up AC clip-on fans. I'll put that over here because I will look that up. I was looking at those ones that have the big pipe that goes outside. They're just as much as any of the other units now. There's just no sense in doing that. I need to do something that's permanent, that's more efficient. Yeah, I don't know if any of those are going to be big enough. Yeah, see, I'm looking at something like, I'm just going to put it right up here. I don't care. Here we go. Let's see. See, I'm looking at something like this right here. This Echo Max. This fan right here. This blows a shitload of air. Okay? I mean, it forces air. These are the same fans they use for those big guys that do this out in front of the car lots. That one's $80. But even when I'm done, I can use this fan. You know, it can be something I'll keep for a long time. So I'm thinking about buying one of these and taking a wire that I have and just literally wiring it to the front on that side to where it just forces air through that thing, and then put some of that metal tape around it so that none of it escapes. It has to go through, and I bet you I could cool this place in 5 minutes with it. It's probably all I need. But that one's $79. I probably don't even quite need one that big. See, this is the one I was kind of thinking of here. 63. I could make that one work, although it's big and bulky. See, these kind of fans won't quite give you the volume that you need for what I'm doing. But I think one of these would. I think that's probably going to be what I'm going to get right there. I think I'm going to go buy that in the morning. But I have to take this apart and make sure I can disconnect the fan that's in there. Because if I can't do that, then I can't have that thing rattling around in there while it's running. I don't know. I may try this. I don't know. I have a pretty good fan. I may just stick it up there and see if I can test it out first. I don't know. I'm going to deal with this tomorrow and the next day. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'll be here. We'll be good. This is that shirt I bought. It's sitting inside. I haven't opened it up yet. It's still in the box. But this is the shirt that I bought to wear to the thing on Friday, and then I'm going to wear it on the show on Saturday night. I'm going to go on early on Saturday. Mostly, I just want to go on and just do some stuff. We'll just go on and see what happens. There's going to be a lot going on, so there should be plenty of views. There should be plenty of things for us to see out there, I would think. All right, so this one's no longer warned. No, we do have one tornado warning. We're watching this one here. And we have no cameras, no storm chasers, really. I got one camera here, but it's a picture of a road. Some of these cameras are really worthless. All right, see these little triangles are actual tornado reports. That's a wall cloud report right there from 12 minutes ago. So, and this thing is moving off to the north. So, these are actually people that reported this stuff. There's another wall cloud reported. So, this thing's moving up this direction here. And we'll keep an eye on it. We don't have a storm chaser on that one that I'm aware of. But yeah, I'll be on for a little while tonight. It is hot tonight. I don't know, but I'll stay on for a little while longer. We'll see what we got. Oh, hey, there you go. In Birmingham. How you doing, Carlotta? Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear things are going good. Yeah, there we go, Heath. I'll buy one of those fans that I did the consumer alert on the other night. Guys, you see these fans advertised every day on YouTube. There'll probably be an ad for one during my show tonight that advertises for this little fan that's about this big, that has a USB plug or some shit on it. And this little fan will cool down your entire room from like 90 degrees all the way down to 74 degrees in like 5 minutes. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It runs on FM. Have you guys ever heard of FM? It runs on FM. It runs on effing magic, okay? It's magic. That's how it works. It's Harry Potter shit, okay? This thing is a complete fraud, guys, all right? Don't buy any of that shit, okay? Let me tell you something. It's simple thermodynamics, okay? If the heat's not being moved outside the room, it's not an air conditioner. Okay? It's the simple laws of heat and thermodynamics. It's the simple laws of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Therefore, if your room is full of heat energy, the only way to make your room cool is to remove a certain quantity of that heat energy. Okay? The only way to remove heat energy is to collect it, bring it outside, and release it. And we do that by compressing and releasing a gas, either freon or anhydrous ammonia or even propane. Some kind of gas is used, and every time it is expanded, when you expand a tank and you allow the pressure out of it, it gets cold. When you compress it back down, it gets warm. That's the principle of air conditioning, okay? So when your compressor outside is running and it's making all that hot air is not from the compressor, just a little of it. Most of that hot air is the actual heat energy that's being removed from your house and put outside your house. Okay? And so if you've got your air conditioner on, it's not making cold air. There's no such thing as cold air. Air has a certain quantity of heat energy. As you lower that quantity of heat energy in the air, it gets cooler feeling. But the term cool or cold, those are just terms that are very subjective, that are used to describe a lower state of energy in the air. But the truth is, heat is the only thing that actually has a value, because heat is the amount of energy that's in the air. So you have to gather that energy up by releasing energy in your coils. And while you're releasing pressure inside your coils, they get really cold like ice. And what that does is it sucks the heat out of your air as the air in your home is blown over those coils. Then coils. Then that material with all that heat in it that it just gathered up, all that heat that was just gathered up, is then sent outside in the low pressure line out to the air conditioner outside. Then when it goes out there, the compressor compresses it back down again into the high pressure line, and it does this with the coil that's outside. It does it through that coil. So what ends up happening is that coil ends up spelling off all of the heat energy that it had just collected inside the house. And then the gas, now that it's free of all of that heat energy, the gas is then returned through the high pressure line back upstairs again to the air handler, where it goes through the process again. And that's how you make cold air. And you will never be able to make cold air or remove the heat from the air unless you're actually moving the thermal energy or converting the thermal energy. And that's a lot more expensive and a lot more difficult too. So what are they doing? What does that little fan do? Nothing. It's a fan. It's a fan. It's nothing but a fan. Yeah. Don't be a sucker and buy that thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't make anything colder. They sell big fancy ones that you put water in. They're misters. They don't do shit. All right? They got ones that you wet the sponge and you put the sponge in there. Shit, garbage. They don't do anything. Any change that it makes in the environment would be negligible. When it feels kind of cool coming out the front, that's just wind chill. It's just, if you blow air over your skin and you're hot, it's going to feel cooler. Duh. Yeah, my parents, when they were very young and they just got their first house, and we're talking back in 1960 and 65, they didn't have an air conditioner in their first house, and they would stop and get a block of ice, and they would stick a block of ice in the tub, and they had a oscillating fan that they would stick on the edge of the tub, and they would circulate that air through the bathroom using that fan. And it would cool the house down 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees, cooler than you could get it with the windows open. But all you were doing was the ice would take on so much heat that it turned to water. And then once it took on enough heat to turn the water, then that water would run down the drain and no longer be in the house. You were, again, removing heat energy. Nothing's free in life. You can't make it go away. Heat doesn't go away. It dissipates, but even when it dissipates, it just moves in every direction, and to the point that you don't notice it anymore. But it's still there. It can never be created or destroyed. And so that's where people get so screwed up with these stupid air conditioners. There's so many of these scams. You guys see the thing where the big blue flowers, the big blue leaves, those beautiful plants with the blue leaves that look like they're about to come through your TV and hit you in the face? Yeah, that's all AI. It's all bullshit. The one where the girl comes out with the bug zapper, and this bug zapper looks like the yard light out in front of your house in the middle of the front yard. But it's not. It's only really about this big. It's all AI. It's all bullshit. All these ads, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to plug something. I don't care. Amazon. I'm an Amazon Prime member. I don't spend my money frivolously, but I'm an Amazon Prime member. You want to know the number one reason? Number one's reasons. They can get shit to me really quick. We got a distribution center here now. I order a plug. It's here in 3 hours. It's amazing. But the thing you really should love about Amazon is the moment one of their products is flagged as being a scam, they will go investigate it and they will pull it. You won't find those fans being sold on Amazon, and if you do, they're being sold as fans. You will not find those on Amazon, at least I couldn't, because it's a scam. Amazon's pretty good about removing stuff that is that it's a scam. You can go in as a member of Amazon, and you can flag a product as a scam product. And that's what you need to do, and they will go check it out, and when they'll look at that thing and say, look, you call this an air conditioner, it is not an air conditioner, it's not going to be on Amazon anymore. Now eBay, they have a policy too, and they try to clear people that are selling bad products, but it's a lot more free willy over there. I do like both those services, but Amazon, when I'm on there, I never get a bad experience from Amazon, really. They sent me the wrong phone charger. That's the first screw up in over a year. And that was one of their sellers. So the point is you want to make sure when you're buying something offline that you're getting what you pay for. Start to pay attention to the measurements. Get a ruler or a yardstick and put it next to your computer. I know this sounds stupid, but when you look up something and it says it's 21 centimeters tall, take your ruler and stick it on your desk and see what 27 centimeters looks like. If they say it's 16 inches tall, make sure that you know what that 16 meters looks like. You know, make sure that you know, oh, that's only, because you'll look at online and it's all AI now, and it looks like whatever you're buying is huge. It's, oh, look at that thing. She came out with it 2 hands and she stuck it in the ground. And when you look at it, it's 19 inches tall, which is only about like this. Okay? So you have to pay attention when you're ordering anything to the measurements. And if you're one of these people that are like, well, I'm not really good with measurements, there's nothing to be good or bad about measurements. You don't have to worry about half inches and quarter inches. Inches is all you need to worry about. When it says it's 12 inches, that's 1 foot, put that on your desk so you can see exactly how tall 12 inches is. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to be an informed consumer. And how they're screwing people right now is they're selling you something and you think you're getting this big, huge thing because of all of the exaggerated AI-generated pictures. You think you're getting this thing that's the size of a motorcycle helmet, and when it shows up, it's the size of a baseball. And I know because I've dealt with that some myself. And what you have to do is you just have to make sure that you look at the measurements. When it says 10 by 10 by 10, that's a cube. That's 10 by 10 by 10. That tells you everything you need to know. Okay, so that box would be about this big. You see what I mean? And you can tell that with your ruler. So I suggest everybody if you're not good with measurements, get a yardstick, a 3-foot yardstick. It's got meters and centimeters on one side. It's got inches and feet on the other side, and the stick itself is either 1 meter, or a lot of them now are the older ones, or the better ones that I get are the 1 yard, which is 3 feet. But get that and have it there, and then next time you go to order something, make sure you understand how big it is before you order it. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Let's run through some news stories we've got here. Some weird clouds he's showing us there on there. All right, so what do we got here? All right, so there's this July 4th event that's been planned for quite a while. Eternal emails are now exposing this July 4th event as being a real mess. This was a Democrat-run project. San Diego County. You know, that place is about as blue as it gets. Officials and its Democrat-led board of supervisors are facing backlash after an America 250 July 4th celebration, originally pitched as a tribute to the Declaration of Independence, was reshaped with a DEI focus, focused sponsorship and rules. So in other words, it was going to be about the country and the Declaration of Independence, They changed it to be about DEI, diversity, equity, and equality. Whatever. The celebration's main programming is expected to feature tribal blessings. Oh, here we go. A land acknowledgement. That's where we go, we're sorry for taking your land. Native, well, at least the natives before we're here, Native Americans, because they're not really native either. Okay, so they're going to do that, and because you got to have that, right? Then they're going to have a nearly 2-hour community story segment where they're going to tell all of the hardships and terrible things that have happened to people in this country. You know, people of color and people with vaginas and people that like gay sex. All right. And then it's going to be, these story segments are going to be centered on historically underserved populations. So the San Diego 250th U.S. anniversary of the July 4th that was going to be about the Declaration of Independence has been completely hijacked by everybody else except the Patriots. It's been completely hijacked by
MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
It's been hijacked by everybody. It's probably been hijacked by a bunch of women pole vaulters that are pretending to be men or something. I don't know, but it's being hijacked by everybody. The DEI is going crazy, and it's causing a real mess. Bill Wells, the mayor of San Diego County's city of El Cajon, and other critics pointed out that America's founding appeared to be sidelined in tentative plans for the upcoming countywide 4th of July event held alongside the San Diego area waterfront. The event, which is lacking funds, everything the Democrats do is lacking funds. Has that surprised anybody? Did that surprise anybody when I say that? Have the Democrats ever done anything on budget? I remind you, Barack Obama didn't pay his bills on that stupid building he built. He still hasn't paid his bills. The event, which is lacking funds, needed for a full setup, saw at least one sponsor dropped after it was mandated that they attest to a series of DEI principles as a condition of participation, according to the county board materials and internal county emails obtained by Fox News. So this company was sponsoring part of the event, and they were mandated to attest to or swear to a series of diversity, equity, and inclusivity principles as a condition of participating in the event. What the F? This is an example of what happens when the crazies run the kingdom. This is an example of what happens when they let them out of the nut house and they go right down to City Hall and apply for a job. My God. The rundown obtained by Fox News Digital lists tribal inmates. Oh, wait a minute. Tribal intimate blessings welcoming to land shortly after guests' arrival and sound check, followed by so they're gonna do the blessing and welcoming to the land before the sound check. Yeah, that's dumb. Followed by a welcoming and land acknowledgement. That's where the white people apologize for stealing all the land from the Indians, who stole the land from each other, who eventually stole the land from the indigenous people that were here before them. Is everybody, you guys got your notes on that, right? You need me to do that again? All right. Welcoming and land acknowledgement, led by the MC. then a tribal invocation, then, here we go, drum roll, Johnny, can I have a timpani, please? The Black National Anthem. Is there a white national anthem? Why is there only a black national anthem? Is there a Hispanic national anthem? How does this work? I'm confused. Anyway, and they say they will eventually get around to, near the end of the opening part, the regular national anthem. After all that freaking bullshit, they're actually going to get down to our national anthem. Isn't that freaking great? I think the radar's doing a little competition with me there. Did you hear that? Anyway. Then they're going to have, after the regular national anthem is played, probably at a lower volume level than everything else, then nearly 2 hours of community story segments focused on local tribes, focused on their hardships and their bad times over the years, focusing on Latinos and how they've been mistreated in this country, and all the hardships that the Latinos have been put through in this country. And then they're going to do a segment on Asian Americans and how Asian Americans were so mistreated through this country over the years, and how this country sucks, and how Native Americans have been treated like shit because we suck. And then they're going to have a whole segment dedicated to Native Hawaiians. Native Hawaiians, that's right, because they don't really want to be in America. It just happens to work out with the taxes that way, you know? And it's one of those things. So we're doing a thing with Native Hawaiians, that's right. I wonder if they're going to get up and dance and all that bullshit. And then they're going to have a special segment where they're going to tell stories of hardship and victimism from the Pacific Islanders, because, you know, America's shit all over the Pacific Islanders for years, so we got to do this one too. That's right. So Pacific Islanders, I knew it was coming.
MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
Affairs. Yes, we're going to have a whole section. And we're going to divide it up between the M's and the I's and the W's, and then the G's and the 2 S's will come, and then the L's and the G's and the B's, they'll do their whole thing, and then the T's will come out, all dressed as women. It's going to be great. And then after that, you got your Q's and your Q's and your IAs, and they all come out, and the IAs are going to be all running around with the Q's, and then the pluses come out, and it's all over with. And then after that, they're going to do a whole section about the oppression of black Americans in this country and how they've been treated so horribly in this country just in the last 50 years. They've just been treated like absolute shit, right? Just ask any rich white woman, they'll tell you they've been treated like absolute shit. Oh my God. This is what they're doing for their America 250 celebration. And by the way, they threw out the entire thing about the Declaration of Independence. It's not even mentioned in the latest program that's come out. The only thing they're doing so far that's positive is they're going to play the real national anthem after the black national anthem. This, excuse my language, is some fucked up shit right here. I'm telling you, this is crap. This is crap. This is how these people feel about this country. Get the hell out. We don't want you here. You're not fundamentally changing my home. So you could take that shit and put it on the road. The event, which will also feature music, food trucks, booths, and other cultural presentations. I would love to go there and see if I could buy a booth to do. I'm going to be celebrating a white male culture, straight white male culture. Hi, I'm going to do a booth. I'm doing all straight white male culture. Well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to put 2 couches in there and we're going to watch a football game. The official government July 4th itinerary of San Diego reads like an opening ceremony of a Democratic Socialists of America convention. And it does! Quipped David McIntosh, president of the conservative political advocacy giant Club for Growth. Back in February, Jim Desmond, a Republican San Diego County supervisor, introduced an agenda item to bring forward a 4th of July event commemorating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, citing the area's deep-rooted relationship to the nation's defense and civic institutions. Subsequently, the board, which is controlled by a 3-2 Democrat majority, introduced and passed a motion to amend last week, weeks later, which directed the county's chief administrator office to coordinate with the Office of Equity and Racial Justice and the county's tribal liaison to incorporate community engagement focused on tribal nations, immigrant communities, LGBTIA2S, MMIWG2+, and other historically victimized or understood or misunderstood or underserved groups in the United States. It's focusing on the victims and how shitty this country is. That's what they're focusing on for the 250. That's what they're focusing on. These people are idiots, okay? This is what they think about our country. This is what they think about our country. Oh, this frosts my ass. Three Democrats wrote it, tied it to the county's equity, inclusion, and racial justice goals, and handed planning to the Office of Equity and Racial Justice. This explained on an X post. Independence Day, especially this one, is about celebrating and honoring America, the mayor added in his comments to Fox News Digital. What the county of San Diego has created ignores this in favor of grievance. Very well put. Instead of celebrating everything that's right with America, they're going to celebrate everything that they perceive as wrong in America. They're coming from a standpoint of grievance, in a sense that our country is not great and is not worthy of pride at all. That's just offensive, especially in light of the fact that they're using taxpayer money to do it. It's a taxpayer-funded event, and it's all DEI. It's all race baiting. It's all LGBTIAMM2S LST bus. It's all bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. This is their celebration. It gets even better. Wait. As they say on TV, but wait, there's more. Among the changes was a requirement for event donors and sponsors to commit themselves to supporting the county's woke DEI principles, which led to at least one or more dropping out of the event, according to the internal county emails obtained by Fox News. The sponsor's pending $2,500 donation did not move forward after the donor declined to complete a required form mandating that he show alignment with the county's values on DEI and support for immigrant communities, the county staff emails indicated. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? They're making the supporters of the event sign a thing that swears that they're in alignment with DEI and immigrant communities and representing the people that have been underserved and underprivileged and whatever, over-victimized, whatever. Holy shit! Meanwhile, other emails that were obtained by Fox News separately said that the event was short thousands of dollars needed for a full stage, lighting, and sound setups, and that additional vendors were now threatening to pull out. They've already downsized the event. Democrats are essentially excluding white community members from the 4th of July. Anti-DEI activist Robbie Starbuck contended in a response to the event's planned schedule and equity focus on underserved populations, describing it as vile. It is vile. Can't we just on this one day celebrate the good things that happen in this country? Just for one freaking day? Crap. That's aggravating for me. Very, very, very aggravating. I don't know. I think my chat room died. Let me refresh up here. Uh-oh. Wow, it's building the page one thing at a time. I don't know what's going on. Whew, I am so hot. I am sweating. I can't get my studio screen to even come up now. I'm dead in the water. I believe I'm still broadcasting, but I can't get this screen to do anything. All right, there we go. All right, it's coming back up. Yeah, my chat's been locked for I don't know how long. Yeah, I think they just something just happened to YouTube because everything here just froze up and started working again. William, I'll leave that there, but that's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. Okay, good. Thanks, Heath. All right, so yeah, we'll continue here for a few more minutes. But yeah, that's the thing, guys. And of course, Fox News reached out to all the people involved. Nobody will talk. Hi, Tony. You gonna say hi to everybody? Want to say hi to everybody? Just look in the camera and say meow. No. This is Tony Todd, named after the famous actor Tony Todd. But he doesn't know how to read a room. He'll drive me nuts. I have to eventually put him out. But the door's wide open, so they're all going to come in and visit when they want to at this point. Yeah, go on over there. That's a good idea, bro. All right. Yeah, July should be White Pride Month. Yeah, I looked it up. The white pride flag is black and white alternating lines, horizontal lines, like the opposite of a referee's shirt. If you can think about that, the lines would be this way. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm straight, and I didn't even know what the straight flag was. Isn't that great? Yeah, Tony, what are you doing? He don't come in much, so he doesn't understand etiquette. He's all laying up against my tablet, all over the keyboard. No, he's Tony Todd. Named after the actor that played Worf's brother. And the Candyman. All right, so the Candyman was, by the way, was not a kid's movie. It was a horror movie. Just, for those of you who don't know. He had one of the best voices in Hollywood, Tony Todd. Yeah. Looks like Team USA is still in the World Cup, it looks like. They did lose one player to a controversial red card, however. Let's see here. All right, let me see what else I had right here. You know that right now, this is kind of crazy. Do you know that right now, for every one conservative teacher in public schools, this is nationwide, for every one conservative teacher, there is 7 liberal teachers. A massive shift from 1969 when the ratio sat at less than 2 to 1. So this is something that's been increasing and increasing and increasing. And now liberal and Democrat faculty members continue to vastly outnumber their conservative colleagues on college campuses, according to a new report exclusively obtained by Fox News. According to the AFPI, the left-wing dominance over campus culture carries deep indications for academic freedom and hiring practices. The data shows that 40% of surveyed faculty members openly admitted to the surveyor that they would oppose hiring a Trump supporter if they knew they were a Trump supporter, while 80% of PhD students acknowledged they would discriminate against a conservative job candidate. Do you believe that? This is going on right now. This is why our kids are getting so screwed up in these schools. Come on, Tom. Come on, buddy. Oh, come on, let's go. You're driving me nuts. You're all over my keyboard. Come on. I know he gets mad at me when I have to put him out, but he plops all over everything and shuts everything off. Yep, and another thing I just wanted to mention tonight before we go out. People are going nuts about data centers, and it's pissing me off. We got politicians down here running pro and against data centers. It's almost like the abortion of the 2026s. It's like everybody's taking a side, and they're losing constituents rather than gaining them, and it's a big mess. I am so sick of the bullshit that people are coming up with. Let me tell you what's going on. It's been discovered that China and Russia and other foreign interests are spending lots of money, just like they did during Russian Gate, just like they did during the Biden laptop, just like they did Russian disinformation. All these different things that have happened has been influenced by these huge buildings full of nerds on computers in Russia and in China, and they sit around all day long trying to influence us here in the United States. And one of the things they're doing right now is they're spreading fear about these data centers. Thousands and thousands of posts going up every hour all over the interwebs, all over everywhere, all over every social media, on everything, talking about how these are ruining communities. They take all the electricity, the water bills triple, everything's terrible, da-da-da-da-da. Guys, you're being played. Okay? Russia and China are trying to beat us to the finish line. And they're using disinformation to dissuade us from staying out ahead on this one. We have got to stay out ahead on this one. We got 50 states all chomping at the bit to somehow regulate AI. They're all idiots. You cannot regulate this shit. It has to be allowed to go. I would love a world where we could roll it out, and make sure we're doing. It's not going to happen. China and Russia. China is already ahead of us, and Russia is not far behind. And they're spending trillions of dollars to equip buildings full of people and AI and everything to stay out ahead of us on all this stuff. And now they're building AI as fast as they can build it over there. They're building data centers in every town. Everywhere there's a fiber connection, there's a data center going up. And you don't have a choice in China. If they're putting a data center in, they're putting a data center in. Well, here we've got a real problem because all of our people are being influenced by all these Russia and Chinese people who are sending over things to make it look like, oh my God, I don't want one of those in my neighborhood. They're going to take all my water and electricity. It's bullshit. All right? They can build these things where they don't need any water except for the bathrooms. They build these things where they can use water and put it right back where they found it when they're done. They've got ways of doing this without using any water. Electricity, they can build their own electric plant right next to it, and they buy and sell electricity back with your power company, and it adds depth to your power grid. It's a good thing. And your city, your county, your state all get tax money from this thing. They all get taxed. They get ad valorem tax. They get income tax from the workers that work there for the federal government. The state gets all of its state sales tax on all of the services that are provided out of there. Are you kidding me? And the local government gets to tax a building that's worth $1 billion. What are we doing? And they don't want that? Are you absolutely stupid? This thing just sits out in the woods and does its thing. It doesn't ever cause a problem. And you know what else? You put impact fees on it. Let's say you've got a small town and they want to build a big data center. No problem. You got to buy us all new police cars and all new fire trucks. Then you can build that data center. Now it's helped your community, not hurt it. Not only you're going to get the tax revenue, but you also get the impact fees, which buy you new ladder trucks and new engines and new tankers and whatever you need. That's how it works. We're not giving tax incentives to these things. We're charging them out the ass. Yes, you can build in my town. You're building me a ladder. You're buying me a ladder truck, $800,000. And that's your impact fee because I don't have an aerial truck, and I'm going to need an aerial truck for your facility. It's 3 stories tall. And so the town gets its first aerial truck. Plus, you charge a bunch of money to improve the road. You put a whole new road in through your town that these people paid for at the data center. All right? Then you charge them out the ass. You tax them. You tax them for the land. You tax them for the service. You tax them for the electricity. You tax them for everything. You tax them for whatever they use, whatever they do. And your little town doubles its tax revenue for something that you can't even see from town. It's outside of town. It's down this road. This is what I don't understand. Each town controls its own code, their own code enforcement. Each county controls its own code enforcement. You tell them where to put it. You tell them where you'll allow them to put it. And then they have to go buy that land from your people, from the people that own in that county. So now all these people that own all this worthless swampland are now going to get paid for it. And then we're going to build a data center, and then we're going to get the services from the data center. That's another thing that people don't realize. You guys use Grok. You use ChatGPT, AI, Genie. I can't think of the other 2 or 3 of them. You guys use all these different services. I know I do. I use them all. I pay for some of them too. We need these buildings to keep all these services going. We need the computation power. We need the ability to be able to do these things. And if you use AI but you don't want any data centers, that's just bullshit, okay? That's that whole NIMBY thing. Not in my backyard. We got a thing down here called NIMBY, N-I-M-B-I, not in my backyard. N-I-M-B-Y, not in my backyard. And do you know what we use it for? Down here, they will go and knock down a forest, and they will put in a huge housing community. And then all these Yankees from up north will move down here and completely fill that housing community all the way up. Within 1 year, it's full. They will have bought every house in there. Okay? Great. They're coming down here to spend their money. I love it. Hey, old man Builds. Thanks for joining the crew. Yeah, so these people come down here and they build out this whole community. Do you know the first thing they do? They start their HOA, right? Do you know the first legal action that most of the HOAs take? They start suing the people that just bought the property next door because they don't want a housing development next to them. I am not shitting you. It's called NIMBY, and it goes on down here every single day. There is lawsuits pending everywhere. People will file a lawsuit and say, we don't want a neighborhood to our right because it could flood us out and it could make it bad and it reduces my property values. Well, guess what? The people to the left of you did the same thing when they came to build your community there. NIMBY, not in my backyard. It was perfectly fine to rip down the swamp. It was perfectly fine to build my house right next to that other neighborhood over there. But now that we're here, we don't want it happening again. It's hypocritical. And this is happening down in Naples everywhere. Everywhere there's a big housing development, there's another one going in next to it. And the first thing they do is sue. They got to put up a wall, or they got to give us a buffer zone, or put lakes in. It's ridiculous. And it's like people did the same. That's why your house costs so much, because of all the litigation those assholes were doing when they were trying to build your house. It's ridiculous. Sometimes you need to build a data center somewhere. Sometimes you're going to stack housing developments right next to each other. We have to understand that. If you want to live out in the woods, you got to go buy a place out in the woods. I'm just really pissed off that we're being played by the Chinese. We're literally being played by the Chinese right now. They've got us scared to death of these data centers. And if you're one of these people that's sitting there, well, I heard about the water, and I heard about the electricity, and these things might blow up or turn into a Robocon or something. I don't know what they do, but they're evil and bad, and they put out piss water, and they infect the lakes, and they put out weird smells. You should see the stupid shit that I've read about these data centers. It's mass hysteria. This is one of the cleanest tenants you could have in your county. It brings jobs, good paying jobs to your county. It brings people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to come live in your county. I don't see a downside to these data centers. I really don't, if it's done right. I don't. And we got to stop allowing the Chinese to scare us out of doing what we got to do. Well, Lambert, that's all done when you have them move in. That's all handled with contracts right at the beginning, and you have them do everything up front. And by the time they move in, you've got your impact fees. You're getting your taxes, and I don't see where. I don't see where they can do that. But okay, I know that there's been some issues with some of the big retailers, but again. This is a simple situation. It's a big building that has 5 employees, 10 employees that work there. You know, it's not a big deal. It's not like you need to put a highway in, set of power poles and some fiber optic line. That's about it. So I'm just telling you guys, before you just poo-poo it, because that's what everybody's saying online. Kat, only on here you hear this because you're not getting the straight up truth from hardly anywhere. I'm telling you, you're not getting it. I look at the positives versus the negatives. The positives for a data center outweigh the negatives 5-1. If you make sure the water and the electric is taken care of, they have to provide their own water, they have to provide their own electric, and the water gallons we're going to, the water scare, they're already past that. They're finding ways to do this where they don't need all that water. So, yeah, you're not hearing it everywhere because the Chinese and all the other people, the Middle East and also Russia, they have all been working this angle for a long time. And they've got us deathly afraid of these data centers. They're building them as quick as they can build them. And we are not. We're in trouble. Luckily, there's a few counties around that have figured out, wow, we could be the county that gets the big data center and we get the money. There you go. Hey, VTX, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm telling you guys, you won't hear it a lot. We talk about it a lot on our radio show, and I cover it on here because I feel that it's very important that you hear both sides of this argument. Because literally, I'm the only one that seems to have this side of the argument. Trey Radel and I and a few others are the only people that seem to be on this side of the argument, and yet this is the side of sanity. This is the side of research and reason. The other side is of panic and subversion and manipulation. So don't be manipulated. Don't be that person that's always negative on everything. We need the AI. You know what happens in these buildings that most people don't want built? Do you know what happens in these buildings? They cure cancer in these buildings. They stop cybercrime in these buildings. They keep us safe in these buildings. There's probably all kinds of good and bad things that go on in there. But the point is, we need these buildings. We need this capacity. We need this ability here. We don't want to have to rent server space in China when we're working on things. We want to have our own systems here in this country. And any regulation or any city, county, or state that prevents these data centers from moving into these places, you are stunting the digital growth of your country. And you need to keep that in mind. Because China is going to beat us. They couldn't ever beat us on the battlefield. All right? And they couldn't beat us in the intellectual game. At least not every time. But this is one they can beat us on, guys. They can beat us on this one. They're already out ahead of us. They're already building 10 times more standing and walking robots than we are. They're already building it. They're going to have a mechanized army several years before we put our first one together. This is scary. And part of the problem is all this negative, just people hating it to hate it because they've been told to hate it. William is correct. American supremacy in data centers is very important. It is. And that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. We have to be reasonable about this. Do I think they should build it at First and Main? No, I don't. This is something that gets built outside of town. They could build it 10 miles outside of my town. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's that billionaire in Hong Kong. He's involved. There's a bunch of people involved in this. You know, the same people that bankroll the no ICE rallies and all this bullshit are the same people that put money towards these AI and manned data centers in other countries that they're using to screw us over here by convincing us that data centers are bad. Isn't that what's weird? They're ahead of us on data centers. They build data centers, and now their data centers are flooding our social media over here, making us believe that data centers are bad, so that we won't build any data centers while they're building all their data centers. Yes, exactly. It's all the same dirty money. Hey, D-Beard, what's up? Hey, Shendy Hill, what's up? Glad you guys made it. Guys, I'm telling you right now, the data centers are not evil. They're not bad. They're not terrible. They're not the end of the world. They're like any other factory or storage warehouse or building. They have to follow your local codes. You have to make sure that the water and the electric will not have a negative impact. You have to charge the appropriate impact fees to make sure that your fire, EMS, law enforcement is all up to the task of protecting this new building. And then you tax the F out of them. I don't see how hard this is. Your little city could be making twice the money in 2 years. You could double the money coming into your city. You could build that civic center you want, build that new high school. What are we doing? Think about it. People need to start taking advantage of this and getting all the good out of it. I'm telling you, China's in the long game. And the United States doesn't know what the long game is. China's in the long game. It may take 20 years, 25 years, but China will be the number one power in this world if things keep going the way they are. You're correct, William. William is absolutely correct. It's called power depth. What it is, every time you put a new generating ability on your grid, especially one that is adjustable, okay? In other words, you put a gas, let's say a propane-powered generator on the outside of this building, a power plant, a small power plant, and it would provide power for that data center. Here's what happens. It can provide twice the power that data center needs. You build it exactly twice as big as you need. Then, when the power company's running low on power, they can sell power back on the grid at a discounted price. So they're actually helping out the depth of the system, okay? And if they have a problem, they can buy electricity from the power grid. And they pay for it at full price. So this doesn't hurt anybody, okay? It actually adds depth to the local electrical system. A rotating generator, yeah. Yeah, China's buying up our property. Oddly enough, they like property near military bases. They like property that's very fertile farmland. They like property that's near government installations, even prisons. They seem to be very selective of what they're buying, and that scares the shit out of me. Yeah. Guys, the commies are coming over the hill, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the commies are coming. I mean, you know, people call me weird, whatever. I don't give a shit. Commies are coming. You know? We just elected 3 more, dyed-in-the-wool, socialist Democrats, socialist republic, whatever they call those assholes, communists. We just elected 3 more commies in New York to work with Commie Memdami. Yeah, now, I will tell you, I think there's an upside to this socialism thing. You want to know what that is? We're seeing a divide in the Democrat Party like we haven't seen in a long time. And the Democrat Party is barely held together with chewing gum and baling wire as it is because they're just not doing well. They're fractured right now. You know, if you look at it, everybody that's a Democrat is an extremist in one way or another.
Of MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
Or they're race victims, they're sex victims. I mean, if you look at it, everybody on the left has their companion animals. Everybody on the left has their safe spaces. It's turned into the party of crazy. And the good news is that the center is moving away from that. And even with the war and the gas prices, which have come down quite a bit, but still a problem, with all this that's going on, the numbers aren't as bad as you think. Because not only is it that the right is in a little bit of trouble because of this war, because there's so many people that just hate Trump just because they hate Trump, not because of anything else. There's different reasons. But the good news right now is that the left is in twice the turmoil that the right is. The left is dividing. They're dividing into socialist communists, which basically communist is just what happens after you become a socialist. And the other half of the party, wants to be Democrats. They want to be blue-collar Democrats again. They want to be what they were 15 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. And this divide's bad because right now you got like James Carville, that crazy old man waving his cane at the moon. You got him, and he's on there talking about, how did you share my... And you listen to his ass, and he's on there talking about they've lost half their party, and the division is incredible, and this and that. And they're all, a lot of them are starting to say this. I really think that the Democrats' days are numbered at this point, because they're going to end up splitting. And this country cannot be a three-party system. It just won't work. If they tried a three-party system, socialists, liberals, and conservatives, if we did have three parties like that, they would never win. You see what I mean? So they're doing some stuff right now that's bad news bears, because there's a lot of Democrats that are not socialists. They're still Democrats even today, because they're gay, or because they've had an addictomy, or because they're black and they feel oppressed, or there's 100 reasons to be a Democrat, okay? And they're still a Democrat. But now they have to decide, do I want to continue to be a progressive leftist, a Democrat, or do I want to now be a socialist? Do I want to now be on that road to communism, the road that has never worked any time it's ever been tried? You guys realize that? No large socialist republic has ever survived. And I think this brings us right back to where this conversation started. 250 years. 250 years. We are already past. They say a democracy lasts 200 years. We are already way past the warranty on this one. 250 years. I can still remember as a kid in first grade coloring the pictures of the bicentennial. It was such a big deal, the bicentennial. And I wanted to mention this tonight. I've heard a lot of people try to say it or try to talk about it, but the bicentennial was 200. That's bicentennial, meaning 100. Right now, we've got the semi-quincentennial. Now, I know that's a little harder to say, but impress your friends. It's the semi-quincentennial. I'll put it in the chat for you so you can save it. There you go. It's the semi-quincentennial. That's what we're in right now. And so I'm hoping we're going to get some semi-quincentennial quarters like we did. We had bicentennial quarters. Everybody was collecting bicentennial quarters. I know some of you guys remember that. Yeah, you're right, Deploribus. You know what? Communism works until you run out of other people's money. That's the bottom line. Communism only works when there's enough of other people's money to go around. But once everybody in the system is either rich beyond the dreams of avarice, meaning your oligarchs, your very few that are actually in charge, and then the other 99.625% of the people are poor, they're freezing to death in the winter, they're burning up in the summer, and they're rationing food 24/7, 365. Welcome to communism. Welcome to socialism. It has failed everywhere it's ever been tried, and yet these stupid asshole Democrats think that they're going to try it again, and this time it's going to work. All the other times didn't work. All the other time, it's because they didn't do it right. We messed it up. We messed it up. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, there's some of the Democrats are playing the inclusivity card, as I call it. They're like, well, they're socialists, but they're on our team, but we really don't go down that whole road, but yet they're on our team, It's kind of like the other side of the team. Yeah, keep that shit up, because that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Socialists are never going to stop at halfway, okay? They're going to go until they have power. So you Democrats are either going to have to go along to get along, or start your own party, or come over here to the sane side. And I just want to remind you, this half hour of our programming is sponsored by the new Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll in honor of the 250th birthday of our great nation. The makers of Trump and All, the leading treatment for Trump derangement syndrome, has come out with the Crazy Nancy bobblehead doll. This way you can have this crazy bitch right on your own desk at work and remind all your liberal friends that you're not going to listen to their bullshit anymore. That's right. It's the new Trump and All bobblehead doll. You can get that today anywhere that Trump and All is sold. And I will tell you that it will make a nice addition to your collection. It's a really nice thing. You got to admit, it's pretty nice. Oh, that's not it. Whoa, what the hell? I swear I'm missing something, but it's okay. Anyway, yeah, so get Trump and All today. There you go. All right. Yeah, I think I think we'll do that. Okay, so that'll be something fun we can do real quick before we head out for tonight. Okay, so I'm going over to my Google AI Studio, where I have built my own image generator here that works really well, because I can select all the sizes that I want it to make. So let me show you how I would make this. I'm going to make it in two different sizes. I'm going to I have to upload something here. There's her stupid head. And okay, and then I'm going to make a Pez dispenser with this head on it. Make it orange, dispensing red, white, and blue candy. Make on a white background. Do you guys see how easy it is to do fun things with AI? It's P-E-Z, isn't it? I think it's Pez. P-E-Z. It's been a while. I bet you it knows what I want. You want to make a bet on whether it knows what I want? Here we go. Let's try it out. Oh my God, dude. Oh, sometimes I amuse myself. How's that for service? I've already got it done. I'm gonna add that to my little slideshow. Well, thanks, Ted. We do appreciate the like. Oh, that's good. That's funny. All right, guys. Anything else before I sign off? I need to go wipe this sweat off. Maybe take a shower and go to bed. Um, all right. It's been a lot of fun tonight. I like that you guys are interested in the AI stuff with me. Maybe one night I want to do some stuff where I'll show you guys some more stuff with AI, things that you can build with AI generator. It's just some people don't want to do it and they totally lose like interest in the show. But I'm so into it and I want to teach you, anybody that wants to learn how to do this stuff, because it's so easy. I made this AI. You can get ones that are already made. I made this AI, connected my API key to it, and now it'll make anything I want it to make, and it'll make it all in many different sizes and everything else. A church fire? Let me see. I hate to see churches on fire, because most of the time it's some atheist asshole that lit it up. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need that anymore. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I can find anything on this. All right, it must have happened earlier. I don't see anything live. Yeah, Lambert, I've done that too. I've had AI, look at other programs and just build it for me. It's amazing. You know what Trey and I did? We tell the AI to make a prompt to make that exact app, and it feeds me back the prompt, and then I email it to Trey, and he puts the prompt in his, and boom, he's got the exact same app, and then he can change it around how he wants it. It's absolutely amazing. I'm doing everything from, like I said, making ads, transcription, videos. You guys see my opener? The van driving by with the fire all in the background and all that, and the cats in the front seat. That's all AI. That entire opener, the entire spot, the closer, everything's AI, except the national anthem part. What is a flow state? I got to learn that one. What's a flow state? A flow state of 200 joules. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm not even sure exactly what it is, but I'm going to look it up. That's cool. I want to look that up. I want to see how I can participate with that more. Oh, they're showing scenes. That was earlier today, yeah. San Francisco. Yeah, another church burns in San Francisco. Coincidence? It's a town full of atheists. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. It's 2.5 hours, and I can't sit in this sweat anymore. So I'm gonna let you guys go. It's been fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me every night like this. It's a lot of fun, and I do appreciate you guys, and I'm glad you guys enjoy the show. And we'll be back on tomorrow night. Reminder: I will have some video to show on the 4th. Probably on the night of the 3rd and the night of the 4th. I'll have some neat video to show you guys from our event that we're doing. Also, we're going to have shows on the Friday the 3rd and Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th. So Please be here for that. We're going. If you have nothing to do on July 4th, come spend it with us. Come spend it with me and Mama Kitty, who's soaking wet. My God, Mama, what happened? What happened to you, old lady? She is like literally like a soaked rag. Anyway, she can't live in here with no air conditioning, so she's living outside. I'm probably going to bring her inside tonight and see if she wants to sleep in there with me, because she is not happy about this whole thing. This is her place, and her air conditioner is down, and she doesn't understand how to call the AC company, or she doesn't have any money to pay for it either. Isn't that right, Mama? It's all right, baby girl. Yep. Happy 1st of July. All right, everybody. I want you to have a good night out there, and we'll see you guys on the next one. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and my name is Ian, and I'm going to send you out with the new spot that I made. It looks a lot like the opener, but in the middle, instead of all the pictures of crazy stuff, it actually shows scenes from a bunch of different shows. It's kind of cool. I'm going to play this, then I'll play the closer, and we will be out. And then we'll be back tomorrow night, guys, in about 22 hours. We'll be back again to do this all over again. We'll see you guys then. My name's Ian. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform, broadcasting on the YouTube channel, StarShip Adventures. I want you guys to have a great night and a safe tomorrow. 7 threes, everybody. 7 threes, and good night out there. Good night, Heath. Good night, everybody. This is the YouTube channel StarShip Adventures, broadcasting live from StarShip Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. StarShip Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on StarShip Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is StarShip Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Signing off. QSY, 7 3s, everyone, 7 3s.